Hello and welcome to the Painless Childbirth course 4th session. How have you been? How has it been going? How was your week? And how have your relaxation techniques been coming along? Have you been able to relax effectively? And if some of the relaxation hasn't worked all the time, don't worry about it. Later on in the course, as the course develops, I'm going to teach you some more relaxation techniques, and as you receive the audio for this course, you're also going to be able to relax effectively. Well, in today's class, we're going to be learning 8 points on how to work with your own subconscious mind. Now, I don't have to tell you how important the subconscious mind is, do I? You already know how important it is, as we've been talking throughout the entire course and the free videos that you've seen in the past. You've also learned throughout your life that the subconscious mind is a very, very important and powerful part of the way that we live and the way that we develop our identity in life. Whatever it is that you have stored in your subconscious mind is because of stuff that has been there in the past, stuff that people have told us, things that we've heard from our parents, from our family members, from our friends and teachers, and this develops our identity. Now, as time goes by, remember, we talked about compounding at one point in this course, and we said that compounding is almost like building one block on top of the other. Let's say you have an idea that's a very light idea. An idea forms when you're very young, and the idea says something, and it's like putting a brick down. And then later on you hear that idea again, and you put another brick on top of that. And later on you hear the same idea, and as life goes by and unfolds, you begin to believe that idea because your elders told it, because someone that you respected told you that. And as each brick builds on top of the other, it gets more and more fortified. Now, the bottom brick is really, really strong. So each time you strengthen a suggestion with more suggestions that are the same, it becomes a lot stronger. Okay? We have a difficulty in changing ourselves later on in life simply because we've reinforced certain ideas again and again and again. We don't change just like that. We change because of the way that we work with ourselves. We change because of things that we understand and we accept upon ourselves, and things that we would like to change consciously. Okay, we'll be talking about some of those things today. So remember, in order to begin to have some type of change in your life, number one thing that you have to do is become aware of what it is that you want to change. What do you want to change in your life? What is it that you want to change? And if you become aware of what you want to change, then that's the beginning to start changing it. Because the awareness tells you, I feel uncomfortable with something inside of me that needs to change. What are the things that you have to change in order to have a better birth? Your perception of birthing. Right? Number one thing, if you've accepted upon yourself throughout your life, throughout your childhood, with movies that you've seen, in magazines that you've read, books perhaps that you're reading now, or even shows that you've been watching at some point up to this point, then the first thing that has to change is your perception of how birthing is supposed to be. So, I know that you've been exposing yourself to more positive things. I know you've been watching my videos and you've been exposing yourself to the idea that birth can really be a wonderful experience. And if you haven't yet gone onto other websites, then please do so. Expose yourself to positive ideas, because that's going to want to make you change when you look at other people and you say to yourself, wow, that lady did it. She looks like a simple, regular, normal, everyday person just like me. I want to change and I want to have the same birth that she does. So your awareness is going to be number one. The second thing that you can do in order to make a change in your subconscious mind is you have to have a desire and readiness for change. Do you have the desire to make a change? Do you have the desire to have a better birth? If you didn't have the desire, things will begin to fall apart. Think of anything important that you've done in your life. Think of a career choice that you made. Think of a big move that you made. Think of the most important thing that you've done in your life. You had the desire to do it. That desire moves you forward. It propels you forward. If you don't have the desire and you have something that feels like, well, you know, I'm not sure if I really want to do this, what happens to you? Think about it. Now, we've all had that experience where we were asked to do something, or we were suggested, and we said to ourselves, I don't know, I'm not sure. We stop. It blocks us. It doesn't allow us to move forward. It keeps us stuck in the same position. But whenever we have the readiness for change and the desire for change, we move forward, right? That's number two. Number three, intention. Intentions are very important. Now think about it. When you tell yourself that you want to do something and you accept it 100%, you move forward even more. You have that momentum, a stronger momentum. I like to work with intentions myself. I like to wake up in the morning at times when I remember, which is most of the time, when I say to myself, Israel, today we're going to do this, this, and this. And even at nighttime, before I go to bed, I like to give myself an intention. Very important, because what it does is it implants a little seed before you go to bed at nighttime, and as you're sleeping you may be thinking about it, that may be harboring that seed, and it may be growing. So the next day you have an even more desire to do it. So if you wake up in the morning, or one time I woke up in the morning and I said, okay Israel, we're going to do this, this, and this, and I even made a little list for myself of like 7 things that I wanted to do that day. Well, I had gotten through 1, 2, and 3, and I was just about to do number 4 when I got a phone call from a friend. And the friend says to me, Israel, can you do me a favor? And I said, yeah, sure, no problem. I'll do it in just a couple of minutes or so. And so as soon as I was done with my number 3 task that I had to do for that day, I had in mind to do the favor for my friend, yet I found myself and my body moving toward my 4th task. It was very interesting, because I stopped myself and I said, Israel, what are you doing? You're doing the 4th task instead of helping out your friend. That's because the intention was already set in my mind. So my subconscious mind accepted it. Click. My body automatically moved in that direction. Isn't that amazing? And sometimes you will accomplish your task even better when you have an intention. Now, we've talked about the biggest secret to having a great birth, and what's the biggest secret is to practice it over and over again in your head, right? Which you're going to be doing. Now, we're changing perceptions, of course. All right, and we talked about changing perceptions just a few minutes ago. We've been talking about changing perceptions ever since the beginning. So changing the perceptions is good, and also having the intention is good, and that is going to help you have a much better birth. Not only that, but make any change that you want to make in your subconscious mind. Number 4 thing that you can do to make a change in your subconscious mind is notice resistances. Now you have this overwhelming change and you want to make a change in your life, and you're ready to move forward and say yes to everything, right? Did you see the movie Yes Man? Great movie. So now you have this great desire to make a change, and you've accepted the fact that you want to make a change, but all of a sudden there may be some resistance inside. You have to notice them, become aware. This is another type of awareness, but it's awareness of resistances. The first awareness was awareness of the change that you wanted to make. This awareness is an awareness of resistance. Where do you feel resistances in your body? You feel them in your stomach, and you feel them in your chest, and anywhere in this part of your body. If you have a desire to make a change and you say to yourself, I want to make a change in this, this, and this, and all of a sudden you start feeling something tingling or brewing in your stomach or chest, that means that there's a subconscious program there that is going against what your belief system is. And that brings me to my next point, to point number 5. And point number 5 is go within. Go deep within. In fact, you have to go into your subconscious mind in order to make those changes. We can't do it on the conscious level, rather. We cannot do it on the conscious level, rather, to be more clear. Why? Because the conscious mind does not allow us to have the programming that makes a person who we are. Conscious mind only gives us day-to-day data. It gives us all the rationalization, analyzation, the stuff that you're looking at every day and analyzing. That's what your conscious mind's function is. The subconscious mind's function is to harbor and to keep and to hold and safe hold all the information that you've learned in the past. That creates your identity, right? So you have to go into that part of yourself in order to make the change. How do you do it? Hypnosis. That's what you've been learning throughout the course, going into the subconscious mind. Now, relaxation is an excellent way. If you meditate, meditation is a different way. Prayer is a way that some people do it. Why? Because they relax. They connect to their maker, to God, to whoever source energy, to whoever they pray to. They connect to them, and something inside of them slows down. They bypass their resistance. They accept the help, the universal help, or the help from God, and they make the change within themselves. That's a form of hypnosis. What we're going to be doing with the audio section you receive from this course is that we're going to be going within. Now you can do it starting now. Any resistance that you have, if you have already the techniques to relax, which we've already learned last week, some small or simple techniques, start going within and accept upon yourself, even if it's just visualization or imagination. See yourself, imagine yourself making the change from thinking, perhaps if you did, that birthing was going to be very difficult, to having an amazing birth, to having a fantastic birth. And you'll see the change, not only physically that occurs at the day of the birth, but psychologically even way before you get to the birth. Number 6, I'm wondering if you know the name to this one. We talked about it in the beginning, and it is when you take a brick and you build it. Now we're talking about subconscious suggestions. The suggestion builds on top of the other, on top of the other, on top of the other. It's called compounding. You compound one on top. If you want success with anything subconsciously, any good hypnotherapist knows that in a session where you just give straight suggestion, you compound. You repeat the suggestion, and it may be a little bit different, but you repeat it again and again and again and again. And the way I learned it was a hypnotherapist wants to throw up from saying the suggestion so many times, but the person listening to it loves it, especially if they're in a hypnotic state. Now, what's another group of people that knows how effective compounding is? In other words, repetition. Let you think about that for a second. Commercials, advertisers know that the more you see something, the more likely you are to buy it. Who are awesome, the best hypnotists that made huge changes in your life? Your mom and your dad, or your family members. They repeated something again and again. Brush your teeth, brush your teeth, brush your teeth, wash your face, take a shower, right? It just became automatic. So compounding is extremely powerful. Next point, number 7, is to use your imagination. It kind of goes hand in hand with something else that we said before. We've been talking about the imagination and how powerful the imagination is. The imagination is powerful simply because it elicits feelings, right? And it also causes our body to react. So if you elicit a feeling and you think about something that you desire, in the future you can cause the same thing to happen. In other words, we talked about the number 1 secret of having an amazing birth. If you imagine yourself having a great birth and you imagine yourself birthing at the same time and you start having good feelings about it, they connect. They go hand in hand. The good feeling and the birthing not only connects psychologically, but it connects physically. And our last point for today, be very, very careful about this, boys and girls, or just girls actually. Monitor your surroundings. Now let's say you've made fantastic changes on the subconscious level, okay? Once it's sealed in the subconscious mind, you know it's almost impossible to change it. Now think about this shape, this square shape that I'm holding up right here. See this square shape, this one right here? Right? You know it's not a square shape. You know it's round. The reason you know it's round is because you've always learned that it's round ever since you were a little girl or a little boy if a man is watching this. So once you have something sealed in the subconscious mind, it's very difficult to change. However, there can be things in our surroundings. Remember, people that we respect, people that have influence over us, like doctors, people in society, things that you watch on TV, the news, movies. All those things are very influential, so you have to be careful with them. Monitor your surroundings, my dear pregnant mom, because those things can influence you. And trust me, you don't want to go backwards in this. You've already made a change for yourself, and you said to yourself, I want to have a fantastic birth. I'm doing all the steps possible in order to have a great birth, not only for you, for me, you, for your baby. So once that happens and you've accepted that upon yourself, you don't want society or things around you to sway your belief system and drag you back. So be careful again. Monitor your surroundings. Well, this brings us to the end of session number 4. Yay! We had a good time. Did you have a good time? Did you learn a lot of stuff? I know that I gave you a lot of information. I know that I gave you a lot of stuff on making changes in your subconscious mind. It's very important. You know, I say that from age about 1 to 5 to 7, more or less, we spend our time building our identity, and from that age on, we spend our time trying to break it down. It takes a long time in order to change perceptions in the subconscious mind. Obviously, it's a lot easier with hypnosis. Of course, there are other methods now. I mentioned hypnosis because I am a hypnotherapist. I work with hypnosis. But there are other methods in order to make changes in the subconscious mind that have been invented or discovered as time goes by. Many of them are effective. So I know that I've talked about a lot of stuff. Please take it in, review the video if you have to, look at it again or a couple times, compound the video, and make the necessary changes. Now here, I know that throughout the videos up to this point you've seen me make light and I have fun and I joke around. But seriously though, I want you to become very, very aware of your surroundings and things that happen in society, things that are there and that compound the negative stuff that you've already learned ever since day one. Okay? Your friends that are quote-unquote experts already in birthing, that have had a baby, maybe again, the experts that talk about birthing and that say that there is inevitable whatever, something negative, and I don't even want to mention it in the video anymore, but be careful with it because you're influenced. Many people become influenced and swayed. The media, movies, magazines, your friends, other people, maybe people when you're out and about in the store or something. They may tell you about their experience. All of a sudden, people will walk up to you and say, "Oh wow, you're pregnant." They may touch your belly. You know, I've heard about stories like that. And then they start telling you about their story. So again, be very, very careful. Next time, video number 5, we're going to be going over very, very important things about your husband being with you at the birth. So please bring your husband to the next session. Have him sit next to you and watch this video. And he may say, "Oh, honey, I don't want to watch it." Husband, partner, whoever it is that's going to help you at the birth. Very, very important that you have the support. And I want to talk to them directly. So please bring them with you at the next session. All right? In the meantime, have a great week and take in all the stuff and have fun with it. See you next time.